Hey guys, hi, welcome to askIITians. This is Manish Nihalani, your mathematics mentor. So, as you all can see, we would be continuing the chapter called as linear equations in one variable today, and this is lecture number 3 of linear equations from class 8. As I have told you all in the previous lectures as well, that this chapter is very much important from your final examination point of view, and this usually comes for 4 to 5 marks in your final exams. So make sure you all are thorough with this chapter. In the last classes we have seen that what are linear equations, how they are different from expressions and identities. So what is the difference between an expression and an equation, and how is it related to algebra and its applications in day to day life. So we have seen all of those things. In today's class we would be talking about linear equations in two variables, and we would be discussing how linear equations in two variables function. And we would also be seeing about the graph of linear equation in two variables. Then we would be talking about some problems on time, speed and average speed versus distance problems. So these are the things which we are going to cover in today's class. That is, first we would be talking about linear equations in two variables, which is what is very much important, right? We have learned in the previous classes, like if I just ask you all to solve this linear equation in one variable, why is it linear? First of all, because its variable has maximum power as 1. Why is it an equation? Because it has an equal to sign. Why is that like a linear equation in one variable? Because it is just has one variable, that is x. Now if I ask you to find its value, you would say step 1 is transport the constant term to the right hand side. So in this case, step 1 would be 4x is equal to 5 plus 7. So 4x would be equal to 12. Now the second step is divide the coefficient of x, divide the equation throughout by coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x here is 4. So when you divide that, you will get 12 by 4, which is just 3. So your x here is 3, whereas your like terms keep on changing. So when your x is 3, this is the value of the equation. So we would be talking about now equations in two variables. We have talked about for in one variables, we would be talking about two variables, right? So what do we mean by linear equations in two variables? For example, you have an equation like maybe 3x plus 5y is equal to 11. Right. Now, why is it linear? First of all, because the power of x and y both are 1 again. Why is this an equation? Because we have an equal to sign. Now, why is it linear equation in two variables? Because we have two different variables, that is, one is x and the other one is y. Right. So these are the linear equations in two variables which we need to talk about. And apart from this, there are certain more equations and expressions which are in the, for example, if I ask you 4m plus 5n is equal to 9. So this is also a linear equation in one variable. Instead of x and y, we have two variables as m and n here, right? So this is what linear equations in two variables means. Now, linear equation in two variable, one linear equation in two variables can have infinite solutions. Why? What do you mean by solution? So if you just look at the previous equation which we solved, that is 4x minus 5 is equal to 7, this had only one solution. What was the solution? Solution means the value of the variable. So solution means what? Value of variable that value of variable that satisfies the equation, right? Value of variable that satisfies the equation. This is one we call as solution. Secondly, when we talk about linear equations in two variables, we would be saying that one equation, two variables can have infinite solutions, as I was saying, because there would be many values of m and n which would be satisfied in this equation, right? If you just talk about, that is, you can say if your m equal to 1 and n is equal to 1, this also satisfies this equation, right? Because 4 into 1 plus 5 into 1 is just 4 plus 5, which is 9. LHS equal to RHS. But if you keep on changing the values of m, for example, if m is equal to 0, then do we get any value of n? So you would say yes, we get n is equal to, you would say 5n is equal to 9 minus 4 into 0, right? You can just transport this on the right hand side. So 4 into 0 is just 0, 9 minus 0 is 9. So your 5n is 9, which implies your n is 9 by 5. N is 9 by 5, right? So m is equal to 0, n is equal to 9 by 5 is the one other solution of this linear equation. But someone could take m ka value as something else. Someone could say m is 2, m is 3, m is 4. Sir, m le lo fraction mein, 9 by 5, 100 by 10, something like that, right? So as you keep on changing the value of m, the value of n keeps on changing. That is why we say that one equation, two variables can have infinite solutions, because there are many. Because अभी तक तो हमने सिर्फ m के values change किया है. Someone can also change the values of n simultaneously and get different values of m, right? So that is why when we talk about linear equation in two variable but we are considering only one equation, you would say there are infinite solutions. Now what are these solutions? If you try to understand what are these solutions are nothing but infinite points on this line, infinite points on this line. Now some of you also tell me, sir, line, where did this line come from? मतलब ये line तो कभी सुना ही नहीं. Equation की बात चल रही थी, line कहाँ से आ गई, right? So we would say when you try to represent these equations on a rectangular Cartesian plane, on a rectangular Cartesian system, coordinate system, that is, we have been studying what is x-axis, what is y-axis. So when you try to draw or when you try to represent this equation in the form of a graph, in the form of a coordinate system, we would be getting a straight line, right? We would be getting a straight line. Now this line is made up of, so we would say that this is the graph of 4m plus 5n is equal to 9. This is the graph of this line. When we say this is the graph of this line, we would be able to interpret that if this is a straight line, then it is made up of infinite points, right? And those points are m equal to 1, n equal to 1. Similarly, there are many other points, that is m equal to 0, n is 9 by 5. So we would be getting infinite points on this straight line. So these are called as solutions of this equation. Right, these are called as solutions of this equation. I hope you all got a glimpse of how does a linear equation in two variables look like, right? Similarly, when you try to represent linear equation in one variable, you also get a line, you also get a straight line, right? It will have only one solution because it has only one variable. Here we had two variables, so they can keep on changing their values, but this linear equation in one variable will be true if and only if your x takes a particular set of values, right? So now let's try to understand this and solve a question. And what does it try to say? It says two pens and one eraser cost rupees 35. We said okay, no problem, two pens, one eraser. So we would say let the cost of one pen, let the cost of one pen be rupees x. Okay, let the cost of one eraser be rupees y. Right, let the cost of one pen is rupees x and cost of one eraser is rupees y. It is two pens and one eraser. So when we say two pen one eraser, it means 2x plus y is equal to 35. Do you all agree? Yes, very good, very good. What about this? Three pencils, four erasers. So what should we say? 3x plus 4y. This costs us 65. This costs us 65. So we would say let the first equation be 1 and this is the equation 2. We are interested in finding the values of x and y, that is cost of pencil and eraser separately. ठीक है, मतलब हमें x और y की values ढूंढनी है. So there are many ways to find the values of x and y. You can say that from this equation 1 you can find the value of y as 35 minus 2x. Y is 35 minus 2x, right? Let's say this is your equation 3. Now you can simply substitute this value of equation 3. So substituting equation 3 in equation 2, right? So you would get 3x plus 4 into y ke jagah par we have to write 35 minus 2x is equal to 65, right? So this will implies 3x plus 35 into 4 will give you 140, right? Minus 8x is equal to 65. Now 3x minus 8x is minus 5x, right? So minus 5x is equal to 65 minus 140. 65 minus 140. How much is 65 minus 140? We get minus 75, right? We get minus 75. So from here we can say that x is equal to minus 75 upon minus 5, which is just 15, right? 5 15s are is 75. So we would be able to say that a cost of one pen is rupees 15. Now we could note that here he's talking about pens and this is pencil, so we would make everything as pen, right? Cost of one pen. Yeah, so here x is rupees 15, which means cost of one pen is 15. Now how do you get value of y? So you would say substituting x is equal to 15 in equation 3, right? Substitute in equation 3 because equation 3 will directly give you the value of y. So in that case we can say that y is equal to 35 minus 2 into 15, that is 35 minus 30, that is just rupees 5, which means the cost of eraser is rupees 5 each. I hope you all understood how to solve equations in two variables, two equations in two variables. Now, if you will observe one important thing, in the previous slide, I told you that uh, one equation, two variables will give you infinite solutions. But here we had two equations and two variables. That is why we got a unique solution, that is x as 15 and y as 5. We got one value. Now you can clearly see first of all that cost of one pen is rupees 15 and cost of one eraser is rupees 5. Now the important thing is, what do we mean by this unique solution? Because so you said in the previous slide that you said that one line is made up of multiple points. One line is made up of multiple points, and this is 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, infinite points, and that is why we get infinite solutions. But in the previous example which we solved, the pen example of pens and eraser, we got only one solution. So what do we mean that by this one solution? So if you observe, I said that one equation, first of all we said one equation, one variable, that will definitely give us one solution, unique solution, right? Because it's just one equation, one variable. But when we said that we have one equation and in two variables, we have one equation and two variables, we would get one equation in two variables, we would basically get infinite solutions, right? We would get infinite solutions because दो variables हैं तो points change होते रहते हैं, right? As I said, infinite points. But you have two equations and you have two variables, then you again get unique solution because जितने variables और उतने equations हैं तो we can get the value of unique variables which will satisfy those equations. So what do we mean by this? That ये जो green line है इसको अगर हम एक और blue line, मतलब you have one equation of this. In the previous example the equation of this was 2x plus y is 35. So if you plot that graphically you get 2x plus y is equal to 35, and we had one more equation that is 3x plus 4y is 65, right? So you would say its equation is 3x plus 4y is equal to 65. राइट. जो सोल्यूशन मिला था ना, x इज इक्वल टू दिस एंड y इज इक्वल टू दिस, दैट इज नथिंग बट द point of intersection of these two lines. This is the solution actually. Right, this is the solution. And what was the solution? 15 comma 5, which means when you have two equations, which means you have two different lines, two different straight lines on a Cartesian plane, x-axis and y-axis. Right. अब उन दोनों लाइंस को प्लॉट करने के बाद we observe that ये लाइंस कहीं ना कहीं तो intersect होंगी. Right. Wherever they meet, that is our solution. Right, wherever they meet, that is our solution, and that solution is called as the point of intersection. That solution is x coordinate and y coordinate. Right, so this is what we mean by linear equations in two variables, and solution of linear equations in two variables means the point of intersection of these two lines. Right, but you have to make sure to get a unique solution. जितने variables हैं उतने equations भी available होने चाहिए, which means if you have 5 variables in the equation, you are supposed to have the 5 solutions or the 5 equations. Right, you are supposed to have 5 equations in 5 variables. When you solve those 5 equations, you would get 5 solution. You'll get a unique solution of 5 variables. Right, so that is what we mean when you have 3 equations, 3 variables, तीनों का unique solution आएगा. ठीक है, but अगर equations कम है, variables ज़्यादा हैं, in that case you would get infinite solutions because there can be infinite points, as I said. I hope you all understood how does the graph of a linear equation in two variable looks like. It looks like a straight line, right? And its solution means the point of intersection. So unique solution means point of intersection, right? So now again it says that graph this equation. So we would say this is one equation, so let's try to graph it. So if for example we would take maybe x as 0, what do we get when we take x as 0? We would get y is equal to 6, right? When you take x 0, when you take x as 1, what do we get? We get y as 4, right? 6 minus 2 is just 4. When we take x as 2, so we get y as 2, because 2 into 2 is 4, 6 minus 4 is just 2, right? So we have like got 3 different points. Now you can take y as 0, you will get x as, when you take y as 0, you will get x as 6 by 2, which is just 3, right? So for different values of x, we are getting different values of y. ठीक है, अब इसको plot करते हैं. Right, let's try to plot this, these points, basically these points, because as I said, this is just one equation na? So there can be infinite points, so you are considering just 4 of the infinite points. ठीक है, और उन 4 points को plot करते हैं. After plotting those points, we will try to join those points. So x is 0, y is 6, x 0, y 6, right? So we can say that it is the point somewhere this x 0, y 6, which means 0 comma 6 point. X is 1, y is 4, x is 1, y is 4. See, 6 के नीचे होगा 4, so this would be somewhere 1 comma 4. X is 2, y is 2, so this would be 2 comma 2, right? X is 3, y is 0, which means यहाँ पर ये 3 होगा, y will be 0. Right, now let's try to connect these ends. If we connect, we get, when we connect these, when we connect these, we would be getting, right, when we connect these, we would say this is the graph of 2x plus y is equal to 6, that is a straight line, right? Now ये सारे जो टेबल बनाई है ना हमने, these all values of x and y, ये सारे इसके solutions हैं. right? All of these are the solutions of the above equation, and even this will have many more solutions because this will have many more points. I hope you all are understanding now easily, right? Because more number of points are equal to the solution, right? So solutions for a linear equation is means the point. Now if we would have had one more equation with this, तो हम उसका भी ग्राफ बनाते थे, and we would have said like अगर इसका ग्राफ कुछ ऐसा है, so we would have said okay, which means the it will have one solution now because it will have a point of intersection as one point of intersection, and that would be the solution, right? So but here we have only one equation, so we are restricting ourselves to drawing the graph and finding some points, right? So as you can see, this is the graph of linear equation in one variable, that is 2x plus y is equal to 6, right? So this is how we basically plot a linear equation. Now let's try to see some examples, right, based on time, speed and average problems using the concept of linear equations, right? So it says Joey and Natasha start from a same point and walk in opposite direction. So there are two people, Joey and Natasha. Okay, so they start from same point. Let's say this is the point. So and Joey walks towards left and Natasha walks towards right. Okay, let's say this is Natasha and this is Joey. Okay, and they walk in opposite direction because it says opposite. That is why we have said left and right. Joey walks 2 per hour faster than Natasha, which means speed of Joey is 2 kilometers greater than speed of Natasha. We said, okay, we'll see what to do with that. Then it says after 3 hours, they are 3 kilometers, 30 kilometers apart, which means now 3 hours have been done. 3 hours have been spent. They keep on walking for 3 hours. I don't know why they were doing that. Okay, so after 3 hours, this is the speed and this is the distance. So you would say 30 kilometers apart. They are now 30 kilometers apart. Basically we can say that the total distance covered by Joey and Natasha is 30 kilometers, right? Total distance covered by both both of them, Joey and Natasha, is 30 kilometers, right? In 3 hours, right? So we would say we have learned one important formula in physics, relation between speed, distance and time. So we know that speed is equal to distance upon time, right? Distance upon time, which implies distance is equal to speed into time. ठीक है, speed into time. अब टाइम तो दोनों का सेम है देखो, बिकॉज दे बोथ आर वॉकिंग फॉर 3 hours. ठीक है, सो टाइम हियर इज same. So we would say time here is constant, that is 3 hours. ठीक है, but we know something about the speed also na. So we would say let speed of Natasha be x kilometers per hour. ठीक है, तो अब इट इज क्लियरली गिवन इन द क्वेश्चन ना कि जोई वॉक्स 2 किलोमीटर पर आवर फास्टर, देयरफॉर जोई का स्पीड क्या हो जाएगा? आई एम राइटिंग जॉय, नो इट्स जोई. Yeah, so Joey's speed would be x plus 2 kilometers per hour, right? X plus 2 हो जाएगा. So now we can say clearly that the total distance covered by them is 30 kilometers, right? So you would say total distance is 30, which implies like when you can say when you know that the total distance is 30 kilometers, so distance covered by Joey, we would say distance covered by Joey plus distance covered by Natasha. This total distance is 30 kilometers. ठीक है, अब हम क्या कहेंगे कि अगर टोटल डिस्टेंस 30 है, सो जोई का डिस्टेंस वुड बी स्पीड इनटू टाइम, जोईज स्पीड इनटू टाइम Joey walked for. So Joey's speed was, what was Joey's speed? X plus 2 into time to 3 hours here, right? So you would say Joey's speed was X plus 2 into 3 plus distance covered by Natasha. Natasha's speed was X. She also walked for 3 hours and they total covered 30 kilometers. So यहाँ से we would be simplifying. We get 3x plus 6 plus 3x is equal to 30, which means 6x is equal to 30 minus 6, which implies 6x is just 24. Therefore, x is equal to 24 kilometers per hour, because this is this Natasha's speed, right? What is being asked? How fast did each walk? So we said Natasha walks at a speed of 24 kilometers per hour and Joey will walk. Joey's speed is x plus 2, which is 24 plus 2, which is 26 kilometers per hour, right? So this is how we solve linear equation in one variable here, right? So we need to understand, acha, 24 by 6, this would be 4, and this would be just 4 and this would be 6, correct? So which means like 24 by 6 is just 4, huh? So we would say that we had two different people, unka total distance was given. Now if you observe, the total distance was not directly given, it was given that they are 30 kilometers apart. अब 30 kilometers apart हैं, which means you have to interpret that they total have covered 30 kilometers, because now they are 30, they started from same point ना, they started from the same point A, ठीक है? यहाँ से start होके they moved in opposite direction, so and they are 30 kilometers apart, which you have to interpret कि इन्होंने total distance 30 kilometers cover किया है, right? Correct. So now let's solve one more question. Right, it says on a 130-kilometer trip, ठीक है? अब एक ट्रिप है, कार ट्रिप है, we are traveling 130 kilometers. Car traveled at an average speed of 55 kilometers per hour, right? So car traveled at an average speed of 55 kilometers per hour, which means car's speed is 55 kilometers per hour for the initial maybe x kilometers, right? And then reduce the speed to 40 kilometers for the remainder of the trip. So we said okay, the trip took 2.5 hours, ठीक है? Which means the trip here is of total time is 2.5 hours, right? And total distance is 130 kilometers, ठीक है? टोटल डिस्टेंस इज 130 किलोमीटर्स. अब हमें अगर देखना है कि how long did the car travel 40 kilometers per hour and 55 kilometers per hour, so we would be able to say that initial, let's say x hours के लिए the car walked for 55 kilometers per hour. So you would say the car traveled let the car traveled 55 kilometers per hour for time t hours, right? Time t hours. Then we can clearly say, therefore, the car traveled at, बाद में driver got tired and he reduced the speed to 40 kilometers per hour for time 2.5 minus t hours, right? Because total time तो 2.5 है, so मान लेते हैं अगर t हमारा 1 hour है, राइट? 1 hour हो गया, सो 2.5 में से 1 चला गया, तो 1.5 hours remaining 40 kilometers per hour पे है. V is asking for how long did the car travel 40 kilometers per hour. So first we will, if we find t, then we can just subtract it from 2.5 and we'll get how long it will take. So here again the catch here is it says total distance is 130 kilometers, right? So total distance would be again, so we will say distance is equal to speed into time, because speed is distance upon time, right? So total distance is 130, right? Speed is 55 kilometers per hour for t hour, so 55 into t, then plus 40 kilometers per hour for 2.5 minus t, right? This will give us the total distance. So you would say let's now simplify this. So we'll get 55t plus 40 into 2.5. So 40 into 2.5 is 40 into 5 by 2, है ना? 40 into 5 by 2, 2 ones are 2, 20s are 20 into 5 gives us 100. तो ये हो जाएगा 100 minus 40t, ठीक है? 55 this is equal to 130, yes. So अब 55 minus 40 क्या होता है 15, और 130 minus 100 gives us 15t. तो यहाँ से 30 is equal to 15t होगा, right? तो यहाँ से t क्या हो जाएगा 30 upon 15, which is 2 hours. So मतलब 2 hours the car traveled for 55 kilometers per hour, and the remaining half hour the car traveled for 40 kilometers per hour. So therefore you would say your answer is 0.5 hours. Why 0.5? Because 2.5 minus t gives you 2.5 minus 2, which gives you 0.5 hours, right? So this is a very simple question. As I said, like you have to equate the total distance as total speed into total time, right? So this means the car was traveled at 40 kilometers per hour for 0.5 hours. That's it. So these are some practice questions now which you all need to understand and solve. So these are again simple questions like linear equations in one variable and need to speed, distance and time problems, wherein these are very interesting applications, because just by knowing how to solve, how to do here and there, this is basic algebra, right? You are just taking the constant terms, the like terms together, the variable terms together, and doing the basic addition and subtraction principles. So once you do that thing, you would be able to gain some confidence on word problems as well. So keep practicing. This is what you can try these two sums as a part of assignment, and then we would be in the next class we would be starting off with new chapter. I hope you all had a understanding of linear equations in one variable and two variable, and you all learned how to what are the applications of this, because it's important to learn every chapter, every topic from application perspective in real life as well. So as you all said that the eraser and pencil problem or eraser and pen problem was very realistic, like because this happens in our day-to-day life. We have been going to purchase stationery and we have been wanting to calculate the amount and all of that thing. So this is regarding it, and in the next class we would be talking off with a new chapter, new topic. Till then, stay safe in this pandemic and take care, because this is going to be long and you all need to be very precautions, and you need to take very good care of yourself. So till then, take care, see you all, bye bye, thank you.